Hey, what's up, people? I got a piece of paper here. I want to tape this up. I got a good idea. I want to see, there's about 4 writers that are like all I really pay attention to. And we'll try and figure out who's the best out of all of them. As far as it goes with just getting up, just getting your name around. And the pick is J.A., Easy, Cost, and me. Alright, now, you know, fuck this paper shit. I got it. Let me just go like this. I myself, RD, I can go through that. I never went all city, so I don't even believe I'm on that list. But each person I'm going to point out their flaws, or where I feel as if they lagged a weak spot. And I never went all city. I mean, don't get me wrong, at one point or another, like people are like, yo, but I saw you up out in Brooklyn, I saw you up. Yes, of course, I've wrote in every borough at one point or another in my life. I just never did it in one spread where I kinged all 5 boroughs. Very few people could say they've done that. Now, let's start off with the attitude of these human beings. Like, just me and J.A. are similar in that area when it comes to beef. It's almost like we thrive on it, we feed off it, we like it, and we're quick to start shit. So that's something I have in common with J.A. Now, Easy and Cost, they're not so quick to start beef. Matter of fact, most of the beef, like with Cost, a lot of the beef he actually got, he inherited it from hanging out with me. And, well, yeah, no, that's not true. They were coming by his house with Doc, redheaded Doc, KRT Doc, D-O-C-K, KRT Doc. He was from around the Chelsea area also, and, yeah, they were coming around his house and fucking with them, and Cost around the same period of time, people were fucking with me and shit. My mother was funny, man. People come yelling at the window and shit. She'll throw like hot boiling water on you, man. Because we used to live like 3 or 4 stories up at 344 East 62nd Street. I used to live there in apartment 13 during that period of time. So, yeah, now, you can't sleep on Cost KRT either, because I've had beef with him in 2007 with Bet TFV and Scuff YKK, Naisha, but I never went over Naisha. I don't know, it's a female, I don't think it's a good look. So I didn't. She went over me all she wanted, she had a pass to do that, it's not my style. Now, alright, with Cost, you know, we were actually at a point where we could have got Scuff and Bet, and we had a plan in action, and it was kind of working. Like, you know, Cost was like, oh, let's just get a van, hop out and just beat the fuck out of him with baseball bats and shit. So I was thinking more down the lines of just filling up a few syringes with a few bags of heroin. Just run up to them, stick the shit in their neck and throw them in the fucking van. Take them for a ride somewhere, beat the living shit out of them, and leave them naked somewhere on the side of the road in Connecticut or something, you know? That was my idea. But, like, honestly, Cost is a salty dude, man. He's into playing hockey and shit like that. He's just not quick to stir up problems because I guess he sees the future in things like, what, some asshole's going to cross you out, you're going to cross out that asshole. It's going to go on for a couple of years, and then people are going to shake hands. What was gained? You got me? So I get that. But I thrive off it. I like it, the action, you know. It gets boring out there when you're just writing and writing and writing. And, like, you look now, man, there's been no serious wars since 2007 with Bet and Scuff, YKK, and TFV versus me and Cost. And RE also was in that, Mikey RE. Yeah, he was involved with that too on our end. And they had other guys that were crossing us out too, like I said, Naisha, which is a female. And yeah, but there was this one spot, it was on Barrack Street. I was actually living up at Hunts Point in the South Bronx at this point. It was around 2007, I believe was the year. And the girl I was seeing and living with, her name was Melissa. Now, she was the head bartender for SOBs. That's a bar on Barrack and like somewhere down the town on Barrack Street. Now, you can look it up, SOBs. She was a Brazilian chick, and SOB stands for Sounds of Brazil. It's the only time I actually had a belly. Like there's a picture floating around. It's like me, Vulcan, Band 2, a whole mess of people. Keo is in it. I think Vifa might be in it. A bunch of people are in this fucking picture. And I'm like standing like on my with big belly and shit. And my hair's all nice because I'm out there like robbing and shit. You don't want to look like a derelict, so you got to look nice, But yeah, it's funny. Like I got well, it's not like this, but it was a little out, maybe 20 pounds, 30 pounds heavier than I am now. But anyway, getting back to this situation with me and Cost, it was funny. We kept crossing them out. Well, actually, it was me and RE we kept crossing them out on Barrack Street, on the door right near where my girlfriend at the time would work, and she'd get out about 4:30 in the morning, and like we could actually see, like we got to the point where I swear I crossed that shit out once, with me and RE went riding around and shit. Then I actually went to pick her up the same night, and the shit was crossed out already, So I was like, okay, they're on to this spot. This has become a focal point for them. Like we just kept doing it. So they would like really say, yo, let's go check that spot on Barrack Street. Let's go check that spot on Barrack Street. Now it got to the point where it's like the sun would literally not shine on that fucking spot. Like by the time the sun came up, it would like, it would be getting crossed out like on a daily basis. So what it boiled down is all me and Cost really would have had to do is sit in a van. That was a problem too. Where do you get the van? You can't steal a van no more. I mean, they have all these low jacks. Like I was saying back in the 80s, that's the reason I stopped stealing motorcycles and shit, You could rent a U-Haul van, And it's just whose method would work better. Cost bashing them in the head with fucking baseball bats, or me running up and sticking a fucking syringe of heroin in that fucking neck. I mean, either way, it's pretty fucked up. But I like my way, man. It's less bloody, And you got to realize, too, that's like the West. It's like a gay neighborhood. You're over there with baseball bats, you get locked the fuck up. They're going to think you're fag bashing or something, or homosexual bashing. The term, I don't know, no disrespect, people. I'm with you. Yeah. we were thinking about some crazy shit. And I really believe if we kept poking around, we could do that. But what ended up happening is I went to work one day, and as I'm coming out of work, I see a strong dude, looking at me. So I'm like, hey, Vinny. He's like, oh, shit, like I just knew, like this dude wanted to wring my fucking neck, and I could tell right off the bat. And, we met and we were going to fight behind my building where I work and this and that. We weren't up to squashing it, but that was then. I like Vinny Bat, he's a good guy, man, TFB. But yeah, we were really plotting on their ass for a hot minute, man, believe me. We were scheming on them, like, imagine that shit, like just put that shit through your head. They're doing graffiti and shit. All of a sudden, like a van door opens up. 2 people run out with syringes. I stab you in the fucking neck, drag you into the van by your ankles, drop your ass off in like fucking Connecticut naked and shit. Come on. Alright, so let's get back to this thing. Now, J.A., I would have to say, no matter how you cut it, how you slice it, he did the best. He definitely got all 5 boroughs very hard for a long period of time. And you got to realize he had a lot of fucking beef. So that's not easy. I mean, that's just like Ghost, RIS, fucking with these RTW guys. Like, he was like, what, him, Neo, maybe one other person, Gatto might have been in on it and shit like that. But you got to realize these guys actually kept RTW at bay. Like they were, and RTW was like the war machine, man. Back then, I mean, anyone that knows. That was no easy task. And it's kind of like, all right, let me just get back to this other fucking thing. So yeah, for J.A. to have that much graffiti and have that much beef and to be able to keep going, it's all good. 100%. He got it. But he slacks in the area of not heart, because he'll climb up some crazy shit and do graffiti, and it's kind of scary. You don't want to fall. But in the facts of actually meeting, like if you fucking got beef with someone, that means you got beef with someone. You know what I mean? It's like crossing them out is all you can do at that moment until you meet up and do the toe-to-toe. So I don't know, just the toe-to-toe fell a little short. But then he actually did go toe-to-toe. Trake and Dover, Dover and J.A., Trake and MQ. It was some big fight they had, So yeah, and there's a couple of fights that JA got in. So yes, he's actually stepped up his game. You gotta realize, I could be talking about when the guy's young. He's younger than me. So, you know, when you're young, you do stupid shit. You cause problems and stuff. We all done it. I've done it. So, but yes, I would call that a weak spot. And another weak spot I'd say JA has is nothing really huge. Like, he doesn't go big. It's always like the same thing. Well, I've seen some top to bottom stuff he's done from the floor to here. He's not really a tall person, so you could cover a little more space. And like, as far as it goes with me doing tags, like the reason I'm like fuck fill-ins is I can do a tag as big as a fill-in or even bigger. Like, I could do a tag as big as I got space, like literally, I don't know about like a mile or nothing like that. But I've done tags that are like maybe half a city block. Yes, I've done them on construction wood and shit like that. I've attempted to see how big I could actually do them. I've done them on subway stations on the clear white brick. I've done some big long fucking tags, yeah. But yeah, I just don't think he went big enough. But then again, he's got his own method. And now, when it comes to Easy, I really like Easy, man. I think he did a lot of fucking graffiti. And once again, he fell off in a couple of areas as far as it goes with pieces and stuff like that. But then look at me, I've never done no burners on subways. You know, I can't say I'm 100%. You know, that's an area of mine that's weak. We'll get into my weaknesses. There's a few of them there. I got a couple little dings in my armor. Yeah. Easy's, I think he's just too friendly. That's the only real weakness I could see in him, other than the fact that he took a lot of time off, which didn't matter because he came back out 2012 and he tore shit the fuck up. At least I believe it was 2012. That's when I started noticing it. And once again, I'm Manhattan. I don't really travel around too much. Although Easy actually never really hit this neighborhood that I'm sitting in right now, up East Side. I mean, he would get 86th Street. He would have a tag on 86th Street, but who didn't? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he just kind of brazed through maybe 3 or 4 tags in a 2 or 3 mile radius, you know? And then again, I guess it's a buff, it's a rich neighborhood, and, you know, all types of reasons why not to do it. Police patrol, they don't fuck around, shit like that. Plus, people who are living in the neighborhood see you doing that shit and catch a beating, you know? So, I don't know, but yes, he did do a lot, man. I really like Easy, man. I really respect him a lot, man. He doesn't get caught up in none of the bullshit, the drama and shit. And even when it comes his way, I've seen a few people poking around, chewing at his ankles, trying to get him up, you know, and get him going. And he always takes the high road. Easy is the shit, man. I really could go on and on and on about Easy. I'm going to do that one day, you know. I really got nothing bad to say about Easy. I really can't. There's nothing bad I could say about him. You know, I love tags. Like, I'm a tagger, like, first and foremost. Now, when you look at cost, I believe cost was up like a motherfucker. Had a lot of fucking tags, right? And he hit all the boroughs. He hit all the boroughs because I was with him when he wrote in the Bronx. He would drop me off, or he'd come pick me up when I was living in Hunts Point. We'd always do a couple of laps around the Bronx. Boom, go down this way, that way, and then right into Manhattan. Like, I don't know, if you wanted to do Queens or Brooklyn, I'd be like, I'm alright, man. Fuck that place, man. What the fuck am I going to do wasting my paint out there, man? That was my opinion. That shit's like going to, Timbuktu or something, you know? Now, so of course, yeah, he's done a lot. He's done a lot, and you got to remember now, the one thing that really puts cost up there above a lot of us is that we pay shit. I used to think it was kind of stupid, but it was a genius idea. It was smart. It was really fucking good idea, man. On all the don't walk and walk signs. Then you got to realize, like I say, I like big, huge blockbusters. Come on, and paint roller things him and Rebs was doing, those are big, huge, blah! And he was running around doing a bunch of fill-ins all over the fucking place. Manhattan, I definitely saw. There was like a fill-in on every corner, right at one point. Yeah, not bullshit. And he had a lot of tags. He had like all those little weird COs when he went old school with them, you know. Yeah, he covered a lot of ground, and he's fast too. Now, he might take off 10 years or something, 5 years, 7 years, or whatever, but when he comes out, he fucking comes out. It's like, hello world, you know? So you got to give it a cost too. You can't sleep on cost either. And Me, I guess I slack in the fact that I was only interested in Manhattan Island. So that cuts me literally out of the group. Like, I shouldn't even put myself in there. But being this is my fucking podcast, fuck you, I'm in there, alright? Nah, for real, I believe my amount of damage for the length of time I've done it. And like I said, one year I went out in Brooklyn. I mean, throughout my whole career, yes, I went all city. But no, you gotta talk about in one run going all city. I can't go all city in fucking 30, 40 fucking years. Like fucking 20 something years ago, I did a fucking bunch of fill-ins in Queens, like I did. And like 20 something years ago, I did a bunch of fill-ins in Brooklyn. Those don't count like the next couple of years later when I'm up in the Bronx doing it. I can't say, okay, now I got Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx, because too much time has passed. You get me? So I don't do that. I'm honest with myself. And speaking about being honest with myself, a lot of you people are like thinking, oh shit, skay, suck cock, this, that. When I said skay, I turn around, skay, sucking cock, I don't mean he's literally on his fucking knees sucking some guy's cock on the fucking sidewalk. I meant that he's jocking him, that he is in awe of this man's appearance. He's starstruck. That's what I meant. It's a term we use out here, like, yo, get off his dick, yo. And I'm not gonna lie, I probably could word that differently, but me and Skay, I really don't see eye to eye with him anymore. Like, he went out to Florida and started hanging out with these idiots, and one day he came into the city and we were supposed to do a good spot, and you know, me and him, we do prime time shit. I'm gonna tell you a real good story about me and him, you know, make this thing a little better after all. Y'all think he's like, no, Skay was good, man. Skay was good. He was good, like, he could sell sand in the desert. He could sell a fucking chunk of ice to a fucking Eskimo, man. He was good, man. And I'm going to get into a story. Let me do it real quick. I don't even know the place. Like I said, Manhattan, I know the Bronx pretty well. I lived in a lot of different locations in the Bronx. Queens, I know just Long Island City and Astoria. Some of Woodside. Other than that, I'm lost. And Brooklyn, I don't fucking know. I go over that Brooklyn Bridge, I'm fucking lost. You know, like, you know, so yeah, I don't know, I just don't give a fuck. I don't know why, I don't know. But what were we doing? Oh right, Skay and the story, yeah. So, here's a good one. It's a chicken store. Like, we didn't even know it was a chicken store, actually. This is fucking hilarious. It's like, I don't know, I might be wrong. I'm going to look for the pictures. And honestly, remember I told you guys, there's a picture, like, you'll look at the end. I wasn't able to find the picture of that spot where EA and them. Actually, I didn't really look too hard, to be truthful. Maybe it'll pop up in the future or something I'll find. I know I have it on one of my old Instagram accounts that I don't even have access to no more. Some girl hacked it. Well, she didn't hack it. She had the information. She just stole that shit from me when we broke up. All right, so Skay and me were doing this one wall. It's like very nice projects. I think it might have been Woodhaven. I don't know. It was like 8 lanes, man. Like when we were doing them big, huge shit, we were doing them shits in like Main Street spots, like right on fucking Front Street. You know, we weren't doing them shits like in fucking down some fucking dead block with freight trains or some shit like that in some industrial area. We were doing that shit right in the heart of fucking the neighborhood, like the main artery, you know, we would catch, you know. And there was this one time, like I said, I'm doing an RD. It was a small wall, but it was big. Type size this wall, but you guys can't see this wall. Maybe 2 parking spaces, 3 parking spaces long, if that makes sense. So I'm doing my RD here, and his Skay is after that. Our letters, my D is actually bumping right into his S. We're painting the shit, you know. So the people from the store come out, like this dude comes out. What are you doing? Like he speaks with a Spanish accent, or maybe Portuguese, like Brazilian or something like that. A deep accent. So Skay's like, we're doing our job. Skay says to the guy, we had a ladder out, and at this point there was actually like a group of people there. You know? We have a ladder out and shit. We got all our paint on the floor. And like, we're doing our job. So as Skay says that, it's like the storefront is here, so it's kind of like down the corner of this little wall we're doing. As Skay's talking, the guy's like, yeah, we're doing our job. This and that. We're supposed to be doing it. So he goes this way, you know, so he can read the name of the store, you know. He's like, yeah, some chicken store, you know. So he's like, yeah, this is the new logo for this so-and-so chicken store. You know, they sold like fried chicken and shit, different types of chicken. It wasn't like Asian or nothing like that, to the best of my knowledge. So he's like, yeah, it's ABC Chicken. We're going to call it ABC Chicken. I don't remember the name of the place. But ABC Chicken, okay. Yeah, no, he's like, I'm painting the logo, the new logo. They're changing the logo for ABC Chicken. Well, now this is the new logo. You know? So the guy looks at it. He said, what is it? I said, you don't see it? It's a chicken. He was a big RD fella with a skate fella, like, bumped into each other. I'm like, that's a chicken. And the guy's looking at it like, how the fuck is that thing a chicken? I'm like, it's an abstract chicken, man. You don't see, like, I'm pointing at, like, Skay's E. I'm like, you don't see there's one leg over there. I was like, what are you saying? You know, I was like, so the guy's like, you're not supposed to be doing this. Skay's like, yo, it's our job, man. This is what we're supposed to do. The owner. We call up the owner and this and that. So, what's the owner's name? Or some weird shit like that. So the guy's like, so-and-so, Charlie? You know, I don't remember. Joey? Like, no, not him. The owner of the whole franchise, man. So he's like, oh, this and that. So he's like, so he's like, what's your name? I remember it was Prego or Frago. Or Fredo or Prado or something. And I'm going to get the pictures because Skay actually wrote up above. He's like, I'm supposed to write the name of the employee and this and that, and he's the manager. And so the guy's like, yeah. And the guy actually comes in, makes his chicken, and shit comes out and shit. Skay is good, man. He's good with that shit. So we did this whole big thing. It's chicken. Skay wrote in his E, we do chicken right, you know. And that shit was funny, man. We had this poor fucking guy believing like that we worked, and everything was legitimate. He's like, no, not him, the owner. He's probably in Florida playing golf, man. The owner, like, you know, like McDonald's, like we'll just use that as a term, like a Burger King, like Mr. Burger King himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get me, right? That was funny, man. The guy's like, oh, okay, you know, all of a sudden, like, he's like giving us food, and he's rolling out the carpet for us. Yeah, that was a good one, man. We came off good on that one. That was some funny shit, man. But anyway, all right, let's get back to this whole fucking thing. So, Cost did a lot, took a couple of breaks, did a lot of real big shit, did a lot of fill-ins, did a lot of fucking tags, fucking wheat paste, which something I never did. I don't think JA's done it. I mean, I've put up wheat paste, but not to that level. I've done the little monster face things I did a couple of times just in my basic neighborhood and shit. I went down 8th Street, Astor Place, put up a couple. You know, I couldn't get into it. It's messy as fucking. You don't get the same, like, you know, it doesn't get me off. Not enough adrenaline rush. But just him doing that was a genius idea, I mean. Then he was doing them big, huge paint rollers. I've done paint rollers. To be true for you, I've actually done paint rollers before him and Revs. But then again, I remember bumping into Smith and Sane. They were fucking painting with the fucking paint brushes and rollers aside of the train. For real, they were painting the side of a fucking train with house paint. And then they would outline it with the spray paint. I thought that was pretty weird. That was before I ever used house paint. I don't know, I can't go for anyone else, but yeah, that was early on. That was when I was up hitting the sixes. I saw them. No, Tishman also, I think. Yeah, twice I might have bumped into them when they were actually using house paint. Because I remember, yeah, in Tishman also, under Central Park, Lace's like, oh, they're using fucking house paint? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, you leave them alone, whatever, let them do what they're doing, you know? I mean, we had no problems with them at that point. And, all right. So, yeah. Anyway you cut it, you probably have to give it to JA. Yeah, I would have to say it. You know, it hurts me. I mean, I've tried to accomplish something my whole life, and I could blame my crew for not jumping aboard with me, but if it's my mission, it's my mission, and I don't feel I ever actually really hit the note that I wanted, just because I got arrested in 2017, and yeah, I can't write no more. It's not like you could just put another quarter in the fucking jukebox machine or a pinball machine and start playing a new game. It doesn't work that way. When they get you, they get you. You know, like if I start my shit up right now, as sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, they'll probably just come by ringing my bell and be like, yo, come with us, you know. I mean, it's as simple as that, it really is. If they don't get me here, I'll go to my job. So yeah, I'm done. I'm washed up. It hurt, man. That shit really fucked me up, man. That's why I was saying, like, I couldn't sleep at night. I had to run and tire myself out. Like, it was like, I don't know. I never had, like, I mean, I'm all fucked up in the head, don't get me wrong, like PTSD, and I'm a sociopath, all types of crazy shit, according to these DFY facilities and stuff, you know? But, like, I believe it was almost like a panic attack. Like, I never felt no weird shit in my life, but when I got caught, like, I honestly felt empty. Like, yeah, like I couldn't sleep. Like, it was weird. Like, I felt like it was some weird shit. I believe it's, as I've heard people that I know, I was screwing around with this girl for a while that suffers from panic attacks, and, you know, in her explanations of what she's going through, I believe that's probably what I was suffering from after I got arrested. Like, that shit hurt me. Like, a piece of my life is gone. Like, what do I do now? It's almost like, you know, a culture shock, or like a change in environment or something. It's like taking a saltwater fucking fish and throwing it in a freshwater tank or something. It's fucked up. So yeah, that's crazy shit, you know. Yeah, that was a hard one to get over. It was a big hump. But I've become comfortable with myself. I'm able to live in my own skin. You know, you can't get everything you want in this world. But I mean, the interviews I have done, you people actually hear me saying it. Like, yo, do you see any point in your life when you're going to quit writing graffiti? And I always said 6 months after I'm dead and buried. And I always figured 6 months because you put me in the ground, I'm dead, right? And you look at this like KES 5, DG, RE, and after about 6 months, like pretty much the shit they actually did is all buffed. You know what I mean? So I pretty much, I mean, of course you'll have tags, because I can show you RD things that still. Hey, what's up, people? Yeah, the little card in this camcorder thing conked out on me. It was full. I forgot to delete the episode I did yesterday to start this one. But, alright, where are we blah, 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 blah. Alright, yeah, let's get back to that. Now, as far as it goes with longevity, as far as it goes with, alright, like me and Cost, you know, Cost KRT and me RD, I don't remember Easy or JA being around when we first started writing. Early on when I bumped into Cost, I don't believe that these guys were even writing graffiti. I never saw them up or heard about them at that point. I mean, I originally, you know, I met JA later on at that point, years later, and that's when he was picking up. I think he used to actually write Soda before he wrote JA, but anyway, yeah, but now that kind of puts me in the ring as far as it goes with like longevity. I think I got that. Now, between me and Cost, that's tricky, because I really never actually had that conversation with Cost, like who started first. And if anything, we'll probably beat each other by a year. I do believe that he was more advanced in graffiti when I was hopping in. He already seemed to have had a good outline throw-up style. His tags were more perfected. So I assume that he might have been writing before me at that point. Plus Tess and DJ No, X-Men, you know, they used to hang out with him before I knew him. And that goes back far, so I don't really know. Easy, I did see him up on trains. I started seeing him up on a lot of Ds and stuff like that. But that wasn't until later on, and it really wasn't a lot. It was like he was someone you could say that, yeah, he was in the mix. You know, he had his little things here and there, but it was no dominating force, you know. Like, for instance, when Cost was writing with Pace, you know, he was doing these PC fill-ins, and then Doc was doing these DO fill-ins. They were pretty much up. It would almost be, once again, it's probably be a tie between them and FN, but I think FN and them had them beat. Like GTF, got the fever, get the fever. Yeah, I think they had more. And of course, Min and them is always, you know, RTW and shit like that. You know, you can't even begin to compare to those guys. But yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, we're not talking about, you know, like, well, we are actually talking about the streets and just as far as it goes with us and how far. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. I don't know how you would put that in a grading system. But then again, you get this guy Easy. He like started tearing up the streets when everyone was still thinking about the trains. It was almost like toy to write in the streets. It was like the people that wrote in the streets were the people that were scared to hit the trains. At that point in life, yes, that's the truth. I'm not saying Easy and them were scared to write on fucking trains. I'm just saying that's the way we viewed it. I don't know how the rest of everyone else viewed it, but that's the way we viewed it. And once again, I'm not saying he was scared. I mean, he was hanging out with TK. Fucking TK's a fucking tall guy, man. A big dude. I've had problems with him. He's someone you don't want to mess with. You know, TK used to have a lot of trains. He used to cross me out on the train. He used to have a lot of whole cars, a lot of TK throw-ups. I mean, you know, hanging out with Magoo and them. I mean, he's got a lot of history. He's been out there a long fucking time, TK. Yeah, you can't take nothing away from him. That motherfucker might even go back to the 70s for all the best of my knowledge. And, I mean, talking to Lace, you know, Lace always said, nah, that guy TK goes back, man. You know, so I don't know. You know, longevity takes a part in it. But then again, TK wasn't really around for the other group in it. But when you get to Easy, like, yo, I used to wonder how the fuck they did that shit. Like, that shit used to have me puzzled, man, with the semi-flat black. It's like, I would know that, I would assume, I myself have never owned a car. I never even drove a car. I drove motorcycles and stole motorcycles and shit. Never been behind the wheel of a car. So I would just think it's kind of like goofy for someone to keep hopping out the car that much. Then I started thinking down the aisles of mopeds. Like, I honestly wondered how easy it would pull it off. And I started to come up with the idea that the best way to do it would probably just take a train real far away, get off the train and walk around, eat, you know, eat some food and, you know, smoke some weed and shit and just kind of do it on your feet, you know. But then that kind of sucks when shit pops off and you got to get the fuck out of there, like with the police and stuff like that, you know. And so yeah, I gotta admit, I was always puzzled about how Easy and them came off, and it was so fast. It was so fast. Like even in 2012, with Sen 4 and him, and then you know, there was a couple of them jumping around. I don't even remember, but in 2012, I just remember him and Sen 4 coming back out, you know, hard. Well, Sen 4 is another guy. He's been out for a long time writing graffiti. You know, like people like that, you gotta realize when you start talking 30 fucking years, 40 fucking years, 20, 30 fucking years. Yo, that's a lot of fucking paint, man. You know, that's a lot of waking up and going out and putting in work, man. That's a lot of fucking work, man. You know, like any of these guys, it's hard to even explain it. But, I mean, imagine J.A., for instance. Like, just imagine doing all that graffiti for all those fucking years, man. That's an accomplishment, man. I mean, to me, it's an accomplishment. I mean, you know, some people might think hopping in a spaceship and flying up to the fucking moon is an accomplishment. It depends on the person and what floats your boat, you know. But, yeah. And I believe everyone I'm speaking about here had that hunger or that yearn. We all probably were scheming on the same crown, but we just approached it in different ways. So I honestly can't pick who would be the number one. But I would have to say, if I'm being honest and I'm not being biased, I would probably have to say J.A. got that shit. Because you got to realize also now, J.A. went out to California and fucking opened a whole other big can of worms. He was going over everyone and their mother over there too. So I don't even know about that. You know, God knows what the fuck was going on over there. I have no idea. You know, but I know it was a lot. It was whatever the fuck J.A. did in California, he did it enough to the point where I heard about it. And I'm in New York, so you can't stop that either. You know, it's not New York, and it doesn't really matter. It's not in my world. Honestly, I was actually born in Orange County, California, on an army base. I don't remember it at such a young age. I was an army brat, bounced around a bunch of different places, and wound up in New York eventually, after my mother and father got divorced. So, California, I know nothing about the fucking place. That's another funny thing. I had these trolls. What about New Jersey? Like, I ratted on someone in New Jersey. Now, I know this Guns N' Roses concert was what, August 5th? something like that. Yeah, I believe it was August 5th. It was the Guns N' Roses concert in MetLife Stadium. Now, I went to New Jersey to do that concert. You know that. Well, not to do the concert, but to go to the concert. And before that, the next time I was in New Jersey, I was 19 years old, and I went with Mike Kirchhoffer to get his jewelry out. He was in Atlantic City. He was gambling, and he put his gold chain in a loan shop, and he wanted to get his jewelry back. So I took the bus ride with him. We went to Atlantic City. He gave the guy the pawn ticket. He got his gold chain back, hung out. He gambled some more and actually won. And we got back on the fucking bus and went back. I'm not a gambler. I just hung out and watched him. Now, the next time I was in New Jersey, I was 11 years old at my uncle, Uncle Kenneth's wake when he died. Yeah, when I was 11 years old. So I've only been to New Jersey like I landed in Jersey when I was coming back from Jamaica, the West Indies once. I landed in Newark Airport. I walked out the airport, hopped in a taxi, and came to New York. So I don't know if that counts or not. But yeah, so that's as far as that goes. I don't know, there's people out there saying I told on someone or something like that in New fucking Jersey or some crazy shit. I don't know, you look on the guy's page like he's some nobody or something. Yeah, let's just keep it there, man. Yo, we're going to keep this going, people. Woo, woo, woo. You got to get me comments, man. Let me know what's going on. Why don't you guys rate the people I'm talking about? This is a little thing I'm going to ask you guys to do. You know, I do all this for you. You know, what have you done for me? Write that song, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, now I'm just trying to fucking talk. That's not right. Here's the thing I'm asking you. You guys rate who you think, and come on, don't get into fame, well, I guess you get famous by doing it a lot, but you know what I mean, like, don't try and look at your favorite, or who you jock, or anything like that. Just look at what you know, and if you don't know, Google it, and then put your own assumptions together. But, I mean, you know, you have people out here that are computer suave, and they are friends with people that are friends with people that write graffiti and stuff like that. So you might get someone that never even landed in New York, and you might read about it, and he's the king of New York, like a few of these people I hear about. You know, I'm like, New York? Get the fuck out of here. But, you know, if they're good with fucking computers, and they know search engines, and what words to use, and what will pop up and stuff, then that's pretty much what you'll get, you know? So you got to use your own judgment on that. You can't be tricked by these little fucking computer geeks, you know. But honestly, sit down and ask yourself. I pretty much gave you all the pros and cons I could think about. And we're talking about easy, cost, RDJA. I don't expect much. I mean, like I said, I never really went all city. I was definitely out there for a long fucking time. I definitely stood my fucking ground. That's another thing. Every episode I'm doing, you think I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. I'm getting beat up like I'm a fucking punching bag. But I cannot, or I refuse to talk about the people I physically beat up. You know, now I'll talk about people I robbed, or people I schemed on, and people I pulled tricks on. Yeah, but when it comes to a physical fight, I'm not going to sit there like bragging about it. And not only bragging, but people catch feelings over shit like that. I'll gladly talk about who kicked my ass. I've done that several times. I'm not going to do it again. You want to hear about it? Angel Z podcast, or even my own podcast, or whatever the hell you want to call this thing, somewhere down the line. I've had 24, well, now actually 25. Last year, I caught a dude near the Madison Square Garden. I thought he was a badass. Yeah, and he's been fucking with me for about 17, 18 years, man. I caught him out there. He came up to me thinking I wouldn't, like, I don't know, like, he actually came up to me, I guess, came up to me, and he was friendly, hey, told me who he was, and I started beating the shit out of him, right in Penn Station, like right outside, in front of Penn Station, at lunchtime, from my work. I happened to walk over that neighborhood. I was going into Kmart, and some guy came up to me and asked me to beat his ass. So, yeah. But out of all those fights, I lost 4. One of them, I got hit in the head with a nightstick. The other ones were pretty much fair. Yeah, fair. But let me not tell you this now. Every single one of them fights I could have won, just by pulling out something and stabbing the fuck out of them. But I would have done that if it was a matter of me getting out of a crime, where I'm committing a crime and I have to get away. But when it comes to graffiti, I honestly do it without no smoke and no mirrors. Like, Hermano, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise, why write graffiti if you're gonna cheat? You know what I'm saying? Like, I say, fuck the rules, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like pride and manhood, like, how you gonna do all that shit and then be known as a snitch or a rat? You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? Or someone that runs away or something. I'm sorry, like, no, you can't. But then again, you know, who am I to talk, because I never did pieces. I could show you pieces I've done out in the streets and stuff like that, yes, but on a subway I never done one. So I'm not even like 100%, you know what I'm saying? But you guys come up with your own answers on that. Like I said, cost, easy, J-A, me, you know? That's your homework assignment. Yeah, another thing, I sound a little nasally. I've been sick. I don't know, man. It's not the fucking COVID, at least I don't know. I mean, maybe it is. I haven't gotten checked or nothing, but yeah. I'm not like dying or hooked on a ventilator, obviously, but you know, I do a little throat here, a little fever yesterday and today, but I'm getting a little better. Drink a lot of water and shit. Actually, should have a thing of water in here. You want to watch me drink water? Hey. Ta-da! Peace out, people.